Good afternoon and welcome to Breaking Fry Bread. I'm Dave. This is Ty. Good morning, Ty. Good afternoon, Ty. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. I don't know what time it is. What's going on over there, man?
It's one of those. I think it's afternoon, but good morning. I mean afternoon.
It depends on what time you wake up.
Right. If I was in Vegas right now, it'd be morning.
The life of a hustler might wake up at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and might say good morning.
Right.
So there we go. So what's going on? You've been in Vegas? You've been hanging out, living the big baller lifestyle?
Yeah, fireworks was done, and we had a week. We had a week to kill, and my wife wanted to take me to Vegas for my birthday, and ended up being a great time. I had family out there, had some friends out there. We enjoyed the 115-degree weather out in the pool, and all the fun, all the good places to eat, and all the good things that Vegas has to offer.
All right, what's the best place you ate?
I gotta say, for my birthday, we had a Primal Steakhouse. It's like it's off the strip, so you're not paying the strip prices, but it's probably one of the best steakhouses.
Yep.
It's like a Game of Thrones setting. I had the Vikings punch. They bring your drink out to you in a Viking horn that's steaming, and it's delicious. But then I got a 30-ounce tomahawk steak. That thing came out already chopped up, perfectly cooked. Delicious food.
Did you put down all 30 ounces?
Not in that sitting, no. I did the next morning though. We woke up hungry and we ate the steak all nice and cold, and because we don't have microwaves in our hotel room, so we had to make
that's
do.
Awesome. I'm a big Vegas guy. I'm a big fan of Vegas. Big fan of Vegas.
Too. I love
Vegas.
Big
fan of Vegas. I go to Vegas 3 or 4 times a year.
Yeah, we do too.
I think it's a great place to blow your per capita check.
Well, yeah, the portion that's meant to be blown, right?
Yeah. The portion that's meant to be blown, which might be all of it, depending on who you are. But listen, here's my favorite place to eat. Number one, my favorite place to eat in Vegas, number one, day in and day out, is the Golden Steer.
Man, I tried. It's so hard to get a reservation there, man. Maybe if I was with you, I might have got a table, but they're booked out.
Yeah, you know what? You should have called me. I'm good friends with the owner.
And I don't know why I didn't think about that.
Where I like to sit is in Joe DiMaggio's booth.
Yeah, because that place is famous for all the old mobsters used to eat there, and all the celebrities.
That's right, the Rat Pack, Frank Sinatra. When I go with boxing folk, we go and we sit in Muhammad Ali's booth. I got many pictures sitting in Muhammad Ali's booth. But that's a great restaurant. And then I love Vic and Anthony's. If you're down at the Golden Nugget, Vic and Anthony's is off the charts. That's one of my favorites.
We've eaten there before. It's good. I can vouch for that.
Yep, that's a good place. I love Vegas. So what is this? I got it. The whole. I see a lot of natives on the Puyallup only channel. Saying, "Hey, it's my birthday week coming up. I'm taking the whole week off." Is this a native thing?
Take the whole week off for their birthday?
Yeah.
I think the ladies think they get a whole month. I don't know what's up with that, but yeah, we try to keep it to a week.
Try to keep it to a week. All right, that's good. That's good. So we got a lot going on. You had a great time for your birthday. Happy birthday, by the way. How old are you?
I'm 40 plus 1.
You're 41 years old.
I feel it too. I feel it in my kneecaps.
Ralph, how old are you?
I'm 52, so I guess I'm an elder in this podcast.
52. Ralph ain't getting no younger. All right, Ralph's looking good though. Ralph's looking good. Whitebeard. That's my new name for Ralph is Whitebeard.
Whitebeard Ralph.
Whitebeard Ralph. That's right. I mean, he is a ghost over there.
I'll take it.
I think it's stress in life.
No, it's all good.
Ralph survived what we call round 3. No, I'm just kidding. We love Ralph. He was never even included in round 3. All right. So we had an assassination attempt on President Trump. Is that something we can talk about on the podcast? We had Biden drop out of the race.
Why not? We could talk about whatever we want. You know, it impacts us. It impacts us in Indian country. It's interesting. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if I was alive when the last assassination attempt happened on any kind of political leader.
1981, Ronald Reagan shot in the side.
No, see, I wasn't even thought of yet.
Well, that's good and bad. Ronald Reagan was shot and whatever. But you know, I mean, contrary to most Puyallup native whatever, you know, I'm anti-Biden. I'm anti-left. I'm right wing all the way. And you know, that's gonna, you know, maybe offend some people. I don't know. I don't care. Because I'm a capitalist. That's the thing about me is I'm a capitalist, and you cannot be a capitalist and be democratic in your view, in my opinion. So I have this thought and this dream and this just kind of notion that why is per capita not $6,000 a month? Why don't I get $6,000 a month for my per capita? And I think that, you know, at the end of the day, I don't see why per capita can't be $6,000. Per capita started coming out, I want to say in like 1999, right? Something like that.
No, it was about 2001.
2001 is when it started coming out?
I believe so, yeah.
2001. Those years are all a blur for me. So 2001 per capita starts coming out, and per capita has not increased in 23 years.
Correct.
And if you look at the standard cost of living increase of a city, it's like 4% year after year.
So 4% times 23 years.
But you got to compound it because it's 4% and then 4% of the total and then 4% of the total and then 4% of the total. It like the 4% is more than 4%.
Right.
Because the 4% continues to grow year after year. After 10 years, that's 40%, right? If you just took the numbers like that. So, you know, we're at like at minimum, you know, 125%. So the cost of per capita, the cost of capita doesn't make it happen. So that's one of the reasons why I'm a capitalist, because I believe in business, because I believe in profit, because I believe in, you know, making money. Those are the things that are very important to me. I believe in cutting regulations. I believe in, you know, making it easier for people to make money. Despite what many think, I believe in the oil pipelines. I believe in all of those things because they create jobs, because they make money. And so environmentally speaking, I'm also more on the right side of the spectrum than most. But those are my views only, of course. And so, you know, Biden dropping out of the race, I don't know how that affects things.
It's definitely interesting. You know, I don't know if that's going to help. I don't know if that's going to help the Democratic Party or if it's going to hurt the Democratic Party.
I think it's going to help him.
Yeah, because I think it was time. You know.
Yeah.
Listening to his debate, that last debate, you know, was a struggle. And I think he had a lot of people advising him, and I think he made the right decision ultimately. I mean, gosh, he's 81, man. Like, you know.
Yeah. I think you're gonna. I think that the Democratic Party. This is just what I would look at it today. You know, Camilla, however you say her name, is there. I think she's like a sacrificial lamb. I think they're gonna throw her in there. They're gonna say, hey, take the run, go for it. See, we support women. We support women's rights. And I think ultimately they know they're going to lose the election. I don't think they're going to win. The polls don't show they're going to win. I don't think they're going to gain enough steam to do it. And I think they know that. And I think the Democratic Party is very intelligent, very, very cunning. In my mind, evil, but very, very cunning. And I think what they're going to do is they're going to focus their energy and their resources on locking up the House and the Senate. Because all you have to do is lock up the House and the Senate, and if you elect Trump, it does nothing. And the House and the Senate, I think, are already so close. This is just my opinion, of course, but I think they're already so close that if the Republicans are focusing all their efforts and energy on the presidential election, which I think they're going to win, I think that what will happen is the Democrats are just going to lock up the House and the Senate, and I don't think Trump's going to accomplish anything. And then I think the Democrats are going to take their time and they're going to find the best candidate, and they're going to find a candidate that has the right liberal views, that gets within the right people. And I think they're playing that long, hey, 2028 presidential election. I think they come in hot in 2028, and I think when they lock up the Senate and the House, they'll say, hey, look, Trump didn't do anything. And I think they'll take the 2028 election. That's the way that I foresee it playing out.
That's not a bad take on it. And then basically you have a deadlock like we did from 17 to 20, or 16 to 20. The Democrats controlled the House and the Senate, and the same thing. Anything Trump tried to pass was held up.
Yeah,
So,
I think it's just going to be a war of attrition. I don't think Camila. I don't think she's a good president. I think it just shows weakness to other countries. There's too many misses there. There's just too many things that I believe are wrong. And it just makes a welfare state. Like it's all about a welfare state, and I don't want to live in a welfare state. And you know what? I'm tired of being taxed. How many small businesses out there are just taxed to pieces? I mean, you think about it. How much tax do you actually pay? Like, I pay tax on my business of what? 39%. If I sell something, I pay what? 7% capital gains tax. And then on top of that, for my employees, I pay, roughly 20% of their payroll into taxes, right? And then on top of that, I charge sales tax, and now I pay 10% sales tax to the government. And now let's see what else. Oh yeah, that's right. I go to the fuel station and I pay what? Like 30% in taxes, 25% in taxes every time I buy fuel. So there's my fuel tax, 25%. And then, oh, guess what? Every time I go to the grocery store and buy something, I pay taxes. Every time I go and buy a car, I pay taxes. Every time I go and, buy something for my kids, I pay taxes. So there's another, 10%. What am I doing, man? Like, you start adding all those up, 39%, 7%, 20%, 10%, 25%, 10%. Like, all I'm doing is paying taxes.
right. There's only two things guaranteed in life, right? Death and taxes.
Death and taxes.
I mean, I know my property taxes have gone up. My mortgage payment went up $500 this year out of nowhere. I know there's like insurance is getting over on people now. So yeah, I'm feeling it as a citizen,
And what about the controls on, the minimum wage amount that an employee can make, like in Washington? Like, what are we doing here? The minimum salary for for a salaried employee is what, $67,000. So you got people that are worth $40,000, $38,000 that you're mandatory to pay $67,000 a year.
Right. And how are those?
How do you operate?
How are the businesses?
Yeah, what happens next year? I don't know the exact. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it jumps to like 75, 85, 95, whatever over the next 4 or 5 years. It continues to jump. How is a small business supposed to support that?
Right. It's tough. I mean, it's tough for small business as it is, man. The margins are so small, it's just.
Yeah. It is tough. I saw the statistic come out that the average small business, the profit for a small business was 6%.
And being the owner of a small business myself, the employees don't see that. They see dollars coming in, but they don't see the overhead. They don't see the cost of doing business. Some of us are just scraping by and trying to make ends meet, and the owners are struggling, to keep paying their people to, help, put food in their, on the table and money in their pocket. It's a struggle for sure.
Yeah, it's a struggle. So I'm a capitalist, and that's what I'm focused on. I'm focused on being a capitalist. And then, of course, my views on just life, like I'm anti-abortion, right? I'm always going to be that way, because of my, Christian beliefs. I can't condone the killing of babies. Like I can't do that. And, I believe God in school, and I believe in being American, Pledge of Allegiance in the school. I believe in those things. So, at the end of the day, that's why I got to sit that way. Trump getting assassinated, right, wrong, or indifferent, somebody decided they wanted to try to kill the president, the ex-president, past president. I don't think that's right either. Violence doesn't solve anything.
No.
Right?
No. Can we just talk about how did that happen though? It's the epic failure of the Secret Service. Wasn't the shooter was less than a football field away, wasn't he?
Something like that.
Sniper team stationed all around, and yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist because I think that I hate that nonsense, but I got to imagine they sat around a room and said, let's try to whack this guy out.
The conspiracy theorists are out there, all this was staged. You see the ketchup packets, when he fell to the ground, but when you look at it realistically, man, those are real gunshots. And I think it was real. Thank God they missed, because I don't believe in that either. But I think that this assassination attempt did nothing but help Trump, and especially there in Butler, Pennsylvania, where that's a swing state right there. He may have solidified himself there in PA, and I noticed a lot of support now towards Trump because he survived. Now he's got street cred. Now his ear's been blown off. You're seeing people walk around with ear patches on, and I don't know. It's kind of wild the way social media took hold of it, and I don't know. I don't know what an assassination attempt looked like in the 80s compared to now. I don't know.
Ralph, you're going to have to clue us in on that. I was only 1 year old.
Well, in 81, I think things were a lot different. A lot changed after 1981 because of the attempted assassination of President Reagan. He was just walking out of a hotel, and there was a crowd just kind of standing really, really close to him. And There was just a few agents around here and there, and now you don't see presidents walk out of situations like that at all. They have full detail. If they're going to walk anywhere in public, there are snipers everywhere. There are all kinds of things in place to make sure that he's safe from every single angle. And geez, even the new limousine that the presidents drive or ride in are like tanks, with several inches thick of armor, and it's incredible how much changed because of Reagan's assassination attempt.
Yeah, the ability of the media to cover an assassination attempt back in the 80s, compared to now, I didn't even know the assassination happened. I opened up Facebook while I was in Vegas, and I started seeing all these memes and GIFs of President Trump in like a gangster outfit with a ear wound, and now he's got street cred. I was like, what is this all about? And then I obviously did some research. I'm like, man, someone just tried to kill Donald Trump. But
yeah, it's crazy. It's a crazy turn of events, man. It's a crazy turn of events. I think it's a sad thing. I don't think we should be trying to assassinate, somebody. I believe they knew it was going to happen. I believe they planned it. I believe they let this guy slip through the cracks and hope that he would do his job. Maybe that's crazy. Maybe it's not. But
so like the Secret Service was in on it a little bit.
Sure, I think they're probably in on it. I think the Biden campaign was probably in on it. I don't think anything happens without somebody knowing about it. As easily as they got in there, as easy as the shot should have been. I don't know. Trump's stock on True Social gets shorted right before it happens. I don't know. You look at some of those things.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they shorted the stock, right before this happened or whatever. That's what I read in I can't remember what publication it was, but I don't know, man. You look at these things and I don't know. And you know what, that could be completely wrong. Maybe it was some just independent, but I don't think so. They've been trying to bring the guy down with impeachments and trials and judges. They just can't stop him. He's just a machine. And that's just my opinion anyway.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And to be honest, when it was when Trump first took office and that whole campaign took place back in 2016, it was different times and it was I remember being a little bit bought into it because it wasn't really politically for me. It was just like the kind of person that Trump was. So I wasn't a big fan of his, going into that campaign. But what I realized is like when he was in office, it really did not impact my life at all, one way or the other, and you're seeing friendships being lost and people unfriending you on Facebook, social media, just because of your beliefs. And for what, just because he took office, man, my life didn't change. Their life didn't change. And same thing with Biden, man. Like when he took office, not a lot of things changed for me that I could feel the impact, maybe except for the hike in my taxes and the hike in my mortgage, I guess. But at the end of the day, I look at the presidential situation as on two fronts. Like, how is it going to impact me personally as a person? And have I felt impacted by whoever has been in office as a person, as a tax-paying citizen? And secondly, how will this president affect Indian country? Not just Puyallup Tribe, but all across Indian country. Will the next president, will they honor treaties still? Will they lift regulations against Native Americans or all these things, all these protections that we have in place? Is our sovereignty in jeopardy? Those are kind of questions that I ask. under Trump, we seem to thrive and we seem to be okay. I know he left a lot of positions in the Department of Interior vacant. Those are the departments that deal with trust properties, trust lands for natives, and environmental issues. So, and then you look at when Biden took office, and we had a Native woman running the Department of the Interior, Deborah Shaughnessy, and what impact did she make? And I don't, I think of it as, as a tribal member who we had trust properties that we were trying to get into trust. So we were trying to get fee land into trust. When Debbie took the office as Department of Interior, it still took us 6 months to a year to get land into trust. So what impact does it really have if Biden or Trump or red or blue gets into office? That's kind of my thoughts on it. And I don't put a lot of personal emotion into it anymore. My friendships are worth a lot more than that. And I look at things subjectively, and Trump, like some of the things he's done, and especially, this assassination attempt, man, I think that's done anything but help him. And I'm preparing for Trump to be president, man, because I think that this just lifted him to that next level.
Yeah, so that's good. I think
that's my little rant.
No, that's good. I agree. I think those are all good things to look at. I think what I look at is, being in business, being an entrepreneur for 25 years, doing my thing. I have never had profitable years or good years, real good years under Democratic leadership as a business owner. Taxes are always higher. It's always tougher. There's always more regulations. There's always more red tape. It costs me more, and people don't seem to spend as much. Like, I can tell you, when Bush Jr. was president, man, I was making more money than I could shake a stick at. And I don't know if it's just the way that it rolls or the way that it happens, but 8 years under Obama were tough 8 years. And I look at as soon as Trump broke into office, I mean, it was like people were spending money like they had never spent money before, So I like that. Biden gets back into office, and, it's been a couple more tough years in business. So I think that just as you navigate those waters and you look at it, we all come from different stances and perspectives. I think from a values standpoint, like I'm Republican because of the values that are on that side of the camp. So that's important to me. And then I think, like, if I go to the grocery store, I mean, dude, you go buy a block of cheese, man, a block of cheese is $14. That's unacceptable. You know what I mean? The cost of everything. Like, everybody says the economy is so good, but under Biden, but I don't see that. I don't see that in reality. I see Amazon doing nothing but laying people off. I see Mod Pizza, saying, hey, let's file bankruptcy. I see Red Lobster closing their doors. I see nothing but layoffs and layoffs and layoffs. I mean, if you look in the news, even Walmart laid off people down in Bentonville. I think that Walmart closed their Toronto offices and combined them down in Bentonville. It's Amazon. How many layoffs from Amazon here locally in the Seattle area? How many layoffs from Microsoft? Tens of thousands of jobs laid off. That doesn't show me a good economy. That doesn't show me that things are good and profitable. When I go to the grocery store, and just for our household, like, we've got, we don't eat crazy. We're not crazy eaters, but just the normal household groceries, right? For the kids, we put them on one credit card. We have 3 kids, my wife and I, we have 3 dogs, and just our food for the month is $3,500.
Easy.
Right? Like, that's $3,500. Our per capita is only $2,000, man. So what we're saying here is that, and I'll tell you what, you go back and look at like grocery bills under the Trump administration, I don't know, $1,800, $2,000. So I'm going to pay an extra $1,700 a month in food bills to be a Democrat.
That's one way to look at it.
I don't think so. That's just my beliefs and my opinions alone. So I'm gonna think of things as a capitalist, like I said. And so that's how I look at the world. That's how I look at what I've got to do. And I know that on a lot of Native American Indian tribes, a lot of the focus is Democratic, and I think a lot of it's because of the social policies, the social programs, the welfare state. Yep, the environmental, the welfare state that we've created. But I see a different in my mind, and like it'll probably never happen, but I see a different vision for Puyallup Indians, right? Hey, it's great that we have a casino and the casino provides per capita, and that's awesome. And I love that. But running a casino is like, gambling, right? Gambling's not good for any Native American. This is my views only. But gambling keeps us down, right? Smoking cigarettes and those things aren't good. Those aren't good for your body. That's not good for who you are, right? Drinking alcohol isn't good. Smoking marijuana, that's not good, in my opinion. I know we can say it's medicinal and all that, but it lowers our IQ. It reduces fight and increases flight. It's just another way to keep us down. So the more things that we do, like drink and smoke marijuana and gamble, these are just more devices that hold us down as a people. These are just more things that keep us in the gutter, if you will. And so those aren't things that I'm proud of. Those aren't things that make me happy. But I think with the money and the education and the right people in leadership, you could take this, whatever it is, $500 million a year entity, and you could say, if we had a goal to turn the tribal enterprises into $1.5 billion in revenue in 3 years, do you think that we could accomplish that? Like, could we triple our growth
with our current entities?
Sure.
I don't know. It's a good question.
It's a good question. I work with a business coach, and that business coach took a company that was doing $500 million in revenue, and they had a goal to hit $1.5 billion in revenue in 5 years. They did it in 24 months. Strong strategic decisions. And I can share many other stories like that with you, because I know some people doing $3 billion a year in revenue. I know some people doing $30 billion a year in revenue. And if you have a plan and you have goals and you manage your time, I do not think that it's that hard to take the Puyallup Tribe of Indians from a $500 million entity to a $1.5 billion entity. It comes with strategic decisions, and we look at it like this. Strategy, right? It's got to be number one. Then we've got to have processes. Then we've got to have structure. And then we've got to have people. And then we drive accountability. And if we put those things in place and we said our goal in the next 5 years is to become a $1.5 billion entity, that our income from casinos is only going to be 20 to 30% of our income. The rest of it is going to come from legitimate businesses, legitimate enterprises, legitimate investments, real estate management, whatever we create. And then what we're going to do is when we hit 1.5 billion in revenue, we're going to increase that per capita to 6,000 a year. Excuse me, 6,000 a month. Because that's where per capita should be.
Mm-hmm.
All right, these are my thoughts. That's all I got for you today, Ty.
As always, man, you very insightful thoughts. And yes, if you're talking about the tribe as a whole entity, and that is an attainable goal, right? And if we can take that burden of sustaining the tribe off of the casino's shoulders, and start diversifying our income and investments, and like you said, real estate management and other things that are gonna bring us further sustainability, and that are gonna sustain the life of your grandkids and your kids' grandkids. Those are the things that we should be looking at, And how could we survive on a $2,000 a month per capita in today's world? So while we're looking for ways to increase our revenue to get the 500 to 1.5, we should always have that thought in the forefront of our people. How are we gonna elevate the per cap, and how are we gonna increase the programs at our tribe and help sustain our people and help our people grow as well in the process.
And there's a lot of help, because if food for a family of 5 is $3,500 a month, you know what I mean? When we can make some big changes, and we get to $1 billion, maybe we increase it to 4,000. We get to $1.5 billion, we increase it to 6,000. But let's take care of our people, and let's increase their wage. Let's not always be just hunting for the bottom barrel. I don't know. We got to bring this thing in for a landing. It's been a great, fun show. It's your birthday week. We got very political. I hope I don't get shot with an arrow. Is that wrong? Is that wrong to say? I don't know. I'm having a good time. All right, what are your final thoughts? Any final thoughts?
Nope. It's good to be back. I enjoyed the topics. Yeah, we should be able to express our views, and I think we had 2 good perspectives. You gave the business owner perspective. You gave the Christian man perspective and your beliefs, and I tried to give like a your average citizen and a tribal perspective, and I think they're both important. So, and I look at things in a simple way. I'm like, why can't we accomplish both? Why can't we accomplish environmental policies and still check the box over here for our capitalists? Why can't we marry both? I don't know. Maybe you have that answer. I
don't know. I do believe in environment, though. I do believe in the environment. I do believe in big environmental things.
So I'm
a bee farmer.
Exactly. And you know what? I just had to kill a couple bees nests around my house. So when I was doing that, I was like, damn, Dave would not like this right now.
Okay, I think you probably and hopefully killed wasps.
Yes, they were wasps.
Okay, good. Those are good to kill because they kill bees.
Yeah, I like the honeybees. They don't mess with me. They just, yeah.
So for any tribal member or anybody out there who's listening, if you run into a beehive that's honeybees and you don't want it, just shoot me a DM and I'll come and pick it up. I'll take it back to the hive.
Where do honeybees typically make a nest? Same place the wasps do? Or
no, they like to be in a little tree or a little cutout or something that's protected. They like to go into a nice, dark, warm hole of some sort.
Yeah.
So if you find it, then call me. I'll come get your bees.
Will do.
All right. This has been a great show. We've had a lot of fun. And I guess listen, LinkedIn is the best way to reach out to me. If you're on LinkedIn, shoot me a DM. I'm on Facebook, Instagram. Subscribe to the podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Check us out. That's where we're hanging out. Ty's on social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. He's on all of those channels as well. So check us out. Give us a like, give us a share, drop your comments in the comment box. We'll be back next Wednesday afternoon for more fun on breaking fry bread. You want to close us out there, Brother Ty?
Very well said, man. I'm just going to say, Hoy of Chud, we are finished. And Hoyt.
I'm going to say adios. For all my brothers south of the border.